Good evening and welcome to Extension 24. I'm Bob Payton. People sometimes ask me, who decides on the content or the subject matter for Extension 24? Well, the answer is that while such decisions usually rest on me, it happens as often as not that someone will call up with a good idea, or someone here at the station will stop me in the hall and say, why don't we do such and such for a program? Tonight's program is a good example. Staff engineer Richard Eiswerth 2 weeks ago asked if we were aware that Harlan Ellison was coming to Syracuse to lecture at the university. Rich knew who Harlan Ellison was and is a fan of his work, so I suggested that he do the interview. Well, it turns out that Ellison is a major American science fiction writer who has written over 30 books, won the top science fiction awards 10 times, and terrified more television reporters than Spiro Agnew. Boy, am I glad it was Rich Eiswerth. You will be too. Watch.
Mr. Ellison, in an article written for the Los Angeles Free Press in December 1968, you mentioned your opinion that ever since some network executive discovered that there were enormous profits to be made by paying heed to Henry Ford's statement that no one ever went broke, underestimating the taste of the American public, television had become, in your words, a mindless creation that had run amok. Again, you said that in 1968.
Probably said it last night, too.
Probably said it last night. Could you elaborate on that for us now?
Well, I suppose I could, but it seems pretty, pretty concise. I mean, I think that was brilliantly stated, my
I do, too.
friend.
I'm going to say that right now because I'm interviewing you.
Okay, well, the point, to jump up and down on it and really bludgeon it, is that as long as they can use television, which keeps an audience sitting quietly, glued, silent, their mind being turned to prune whip yogurt, to sell rectal suppositories, they're going to do it. And as long as that is the sole motivating reason for having television, you will never have any television of any consequence. Because great art does not come from moving automobiles out of the factory. Great art comes from the personal dreams of individuals. And those personal dreams are anathema to commercial television. They don't want to see them. For instance, not a year goes by that I'm not asked to write a drama of some kind or other for television. Most of the time, it never comes off. My mother died recently. I went back home to Cleveland to read the eulogy at her funeral. And I spoke about her as a human being and offended my family more than I can begin to tell you. It was a nightmare with my sister sitting. My sister's a dreadful person. She's a really loathsome lady. I have not spoken to her in 50